The Con Man and the Gullible Town. A con man bought a donkey and, against its will, stuffed its rear end with gold coins. He then took it to the bustling marketplace. The donkey brayed, and gold coins fell out from its rear. People gathered around the con man, who told them that whenever the donkey brayed, gold coins would fall from its rear. Without a second thought, negotiations began for the donkey's sale. The chief merchant bought it for a large sum, but a few hours later, he discovered he had fallen victim to a foolish scam. He and the townspeople immediately went to the con man's house and knocked on the door. His wife answered, saying he wasn't home, but she said she would send the dog, and it would fetch him immediately. Indeed, she released the dog, which had been cooped up, and it fled, not looking back. However, her husband returned shortly after, accompanied by a dog that looked exactly like the one that had escaped. Of course, they forgot why they had come and started negotiating to buy the dog. One of them bought it for a large sum. He then went home and told his wife to release it so it could fetch him later. The wife released the dog, but they never saw it again. The merchants realized they had been scammed once more, so they rushed to the con man's house and barged in, only to find his wife. They sat down to wait for him. When he arrived, he looked at them, then at his wife, and said to her, "Why haven't you offered hospitality to these honorable guests?" The wife replied, "They are your guests, so you attend to them." The man pretended to be extremely angry. The men started blaming him for his recklessness. He told them, "Don't worry, I've killed her many times before, and I can bring her back to life again." Immediately, he took out a flute from his pocket and began to play. The wife instantly got up, more lively and energetic than before, and went to make coffee for the astonished men. The men forgot why they had come and started negotiating for the flute, until they bought it from him for a very large sum. The one who won it went home, stabbed his wife, and played the flute over her for hours, but she did not wake up. In the morning, the other merchants asked him what had happened. Afraid to tell them he had killed his wife, he claimed the flute worked and that he had managed to revive her. The merchants borrowed it from him, and each of them killed his own wife. After the merchants had had enough, they went to the con man's house, put him in a sack, and took him to throw him into the sea. They walked until they got tired, then sat down to rest and fell asleep. The con man started shouting from inside the sack. A shepherd came by and asked him why he was in the sack while these men were asleep. The con man told him, "They want to marry me to the daughter of the chief merchant in the emirate. But I'm in love with my cousin and don't want the rich man's daughter." And as usual, of course, our friend convinced the shepherd to take his place in the sack, enticed by the prospect of marrying the chief merchant's daughter. So he got in. While they questioned him, and he told them that when they threw him into the sea, a mermaid emerged, received him, gave him gold and sheep, and brought him to shore. She told him that if they had thrown him further from the shore, her wealthier sister would have rescued him, given him thousands of sheep, as she did for everyone. The con man was telling them this while the townspeople listened. So everyone rushed to the sea and threw themselves in, and the entire city became the con man's property.